Okay, so have you ever felt that tug, that travel bug, that makes you want to just experience totally different culture?
We all crave that feeling of somewhere else, right?
Right. But what if you could chase that feeling? Maybe without the hassle of a big international trip.
Well, what's interesting is you actually can. We're diving into Undiscovered America TV,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all about finding these pockets of international culture hidden right here in the U.S.
It's kind of brilliant when you think about it. They're showcasing these American destinations that have this really distinct international vibe.
It makes sense though, right? These towns were founded by immigrants, and they brought their traditions, their architecture, even their food across the ocean.
Talk about a recipe for an adventure close to home.
And the show's success really speaks for itself. It's reached almost 95% of U.S. households.
95%. Wow, that's a
Eh,
staggering number. So where can people even find this show?
Well, it's a blend of national and local channels.
Ah,
So
okay.
the exact details kind of depend on your location. But hey, there's always streaming services too.
True. Which makes this whole concept of exploring the world without living the country even more doable. So let's talk specifics. The show features some really captivating locations. I was immediately drawn to Holland, Michigan, and also Helen, Georgia. Two very different places.
Interesting. Those are great examples, actually. Each town has its own charm, but they both really highlight the show's main idea. America's cultural landscape is incredibly diverse.
You've got that right. So Holland, Michigan, or as they call it on the show, a touch of Holland, it just takes you straight to the Netherlands.
Like stepping into another world.
Exactly. Picture this. You're walking through fields of these bright tulips. The smell of fresh stroopwafels is in the air. And then, boom, you stumble upon an actual working Dutch windmill.
It just shows you how much cultural heritage can be woven into the very fabric of a place, even generations later and thousands of miles away.
Absolutely. Now, on the flip side, we have Helen, Georgia. It's like a little slice of Bavaria tucked away in the Blue Ridge Mountains. They've got cobblestone streets, shops full of traditional German stuff. And did I mention Oktoberfest?
Oh, yeah, it's
Ah,
amazing. A perfect blend of culture's Bavarian charm with that southern hospitality.
I love that.
Seriously, where else can you find a German beer garden overlooking the Blue Ridge Mountains? It's wild.
It really is like stepping into a Starbucks. And speaking of stories, what I really connected with in these episodes was the show's focus on the people. The personal encounters that breathe life into these destinations. It's more than just pretty scenery, right? It's like the show's really trying to get at the heart of these places, the individual stories.
Yeah, exactly. The locations are incredible, don't get me wrong, but it's the human element, the personal connections, those stories that really make a place memorable.
Totally. And there's this one episode that really stuck with me. The host, David, visits this place in Tampa. Get this, it's called Madame Fortune's Dessert in a High Five Parlor.
Okay, that name alone. Right.
Yeah.
You got to know more.
Right. So it turns out there's this amazing story behind it. The owner, Dr. Jamaris Glenn, he created this whole place as a tribute to this unsung historical figure, Madame Fortune Taylor. She was a formerly enslaved woman who became a super successful landowner and entrepreneur right there in Tampa.
Wow, that's incredible.
And it's clear that her story really resonated with David. You can just see it in his face when he's talking to Dr. Glenn about keeping her legacy alive through this really unique business.
It makes you think, sometimes those extraordinary stories are hidden in the most unexpected places.
100%. And speaking of unexpected, Undiscovered America TV doesn't just stick to the safe and familiar. David, the host, he seems up for anything.
He's always ready to push those boundaries.
Right. I mean, we're talking skydiving, race car driving. He even hung off the side of a skyscraper.
I know. It's a little intense, even for me.
Okay, yeah. That one might be a bit much for me too. But what do you think? What's the message there? Is it really about everyone going out and doing those extreme things?
I don't think it has to be that literal. I think it's more about being open to new experiences, challenging yourself. And that can be right in your own backyard. It's about breaking out of that routine, being willing to say yes to adventure.
You're the small adventures.
Exactly. Because sometimes those can be the most rewarding.
It definitely makes you stop and think, what am I putting off? What amazing thing is right under my nose that I haven't discovered yet?
It's true. Sometimes we get stuck thinking, oh, I'll do that someday. But really, someday is just a state of mind. If you want to experience something new, if you want to challenge yourself, why wait?
I like that. No time like the present. So we've got Undiscovered America TV. Clearly, it's a hit. It's resonating with a huge audience. They've really tapped into something with this whole cultural exploration adventure thing, all within the U.S. What do you think that says about this concept?
Well, to me, it says that this desire to connect with different cultures, to get outside of our everyday bubbles, it's powerful. And it goes beyond just physical borders and passports.
And maybe it means that, we don't always need a passport to have that feeling of like really stepping into another world. We can find those aha moments closer to home than we think. It's funny. It's like Undiscovered America TV is giving us permission to be like tourists in our own towns.
Exactly. We can approach our own neighborhoods with that same sense of wonder, that curiosity, just like we're exploring a foreign country.
And remember, every place has a story. Think about Madame Fortune's Dessert and High Five Parlor again.
Such a fun name.
Right. But behind that name is a tribute to this amazing woman, someone who beat the odds and became a part of Tampa's history.
It really highlights how much history is all around us, hiding in plain sight. Every town, every neighborhood, it's all got layers of stories.
It makes you wonder, what else is out there? What haven't we heard? And how do we find those stories?
That's what's so great. Undiscovered America TV gives us a sort of blueprint. It's like they're saying, ask questions.
Engage with people.
Yeah. Be open to the unexpected.
So no more of this, oh, I'll explore my own city someday.
Right. Start today. Start with a question, even.
I like that.
What's the story behind that old building? How did different cultures shape this neighborhood? Who are the unsung heroes? You'd be surprised what you dig up.
It's like the show is saying, hey, look closer, listen a little deeper. You might just be amazed, even in those unexpected corners of where you live.
And who knows? Maybe you'll find a little piece of the world without ever leaving home.